Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, a safe and sacred place to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to be authentic. I am your host, Tisha Michelle. From the deep pain and loss of my best friend Gloria, I realized she gave me the greatest gift ever, remembering my purpose in life, which is to help connect you to your authentic self, guide you to remember your purpose, and remind you that your current circumstance doesn't define who you are. Join me as we heal, align, and glow together. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Seeing with Your Soul. I'm your host, Tisha Michelle. So a little announcement before we jump into this episode. Embrace, heal, and nurture your inner child, right? That is my course. I'm super excited about it. And it starts on Sunday, May 24th. So if you've ever wondered why you do the things that you do, maybe you're a people pleaser, you're afraid to speak up for yourself, or you just operate a lot from a place of fear and just always wondered, like, why am I like this? Or even said something, like, what's wrong with me? Which I want you to know that there's nothing that's wrong with you at all. But I will say that we need to revisit our childhood, right? So in this course, we're going to get intimate. We're going to get emotional. However, you are going to be guided. I am going to be holding your hand all the way through this process. And it's so cool because I know I'm going to get, just as much as you guys out of this course. So I'm super excited about it. But with me guiding and holding your hand, you'll be able to safely face yourself. I like to tell people all the time, it's you versus you. For me, it's me versus me. And, with this course, we're going to be able to move forward in life, but move forward evolving and growing, right? So again, I'm super excited about this course and I would love to have you if you feel like something is resonating with you and you're it's just something and I'm just ready to face it and I'm ready to get past this. You can register on my website and that's healalignGlow.com. So it's HealAlignGlow.com. Okay. So I like to dive in and talk about the 3 things that I'm grateful for. All right. So in this present moment, the 3 things that I am grateful for. 1, I'm grateful that I woke up, right? And you would think that we should just always say that we're grateful for waking up, which we are. But some days just really stand out. And today, as I'm recording this, I'm so glad that I woke up. Again, I get another opportunity to walk in my purpose. I get another opportunity to just explore myself, explore life and everything that it has to offer. And it's just something about today. I'm just seeing the beauty all around. Now, I see beauty every day, but again, some days just are highlighted even more. And I don't know if just because I'm vibing even higher or what, but I woke up and I was like, hell yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm grateful that I woke up today. The second thing, I am grateful for the laptop. I'm grateful for this laptop that I received for Mother's Day. And I have a desktop. I had a laptop a while ago. It's old. It just overdid it. But I go through these phases and it's I'm really loving a laptop. Then I'm oh no, I really love a desktop. So I've been rocking with my desktop for a while and it's in great condition. It serves its purpose, but it had me limited. And it had me limited to only being right at the desktop, which is where it was. Sometimes I want to be in my bedroom and I just want to chill and do some stuff on the computer. But, I'm not able to. I have to be where the computer is, or when I'm traveling, all I have is my phone, which is great. But there are some things that I would like to do from, my computer. When I do Zoom classes or Zoom calls, I like to be on the computer because I can see everyone, right? So getting this laptop was so much more for me because it allowed me the freedom to be able to move around and do a lot more stuff in my business and personal life and just everything. So it was more than just getting, a laptop. I got a laptop. It's just something that's just needed. But also I didn't have to pay for it. So that was great, right? So I didn't have to feel do I need to move some money around or, what the case is. And I love now that I'm open to receiving gifts. I love to receive things, especially when I'm not trying to be funny, when they're useful. And I will get so much out of it. So the reason why that even came up is because I am actually outside today. I'm in the car and I'm actually in the parking lot of the shopping center. And this is where I'm working from today because I don't want to be inside. So I'm sitting outside and then I'm close to once I'm done recording this, I'm just going to go through the drive-thru and get me some food. And then I'm going to come back into the spot and I'm going to continue working on this stuff because it's beautiful out here. The weather is amazing and it's great. And I don't feel like actually sitting all the way outside because I don't want the bugs bothering me today. So anyway, guys, I'm super, super grateful for this laptop. And the third thing that I am grateful for, I am grateful for my triggers. I have received a couple of triggers in the past week, and I used to run from my triggers. And I'm sure like many of you, like you get something that triggers you and you'll be like, oh, hell no. And then you'll be like, I'm done. I'm moving away from this. I'm shutting this down. I'm not talking about this anymore, or whatever the case is. And that was me. And now I'm excited for my triggers, even though if they're painful, they make me feel uncomfortable. They're just this invitation, right? It's an invitation to let me know that there's something that I need to work on. And even if I thought that I got past that, the fact that it's coming back up now to trigger me and to make me feel some type of way, I'm like, oh, okay. So I need to figure out why is it that I'm still feeling like this? And how is it that I can, rid this like once and for all? Because I know that it's taking up a part of my space. And I need all my space because there's some things I want to bring into fruition and I don't have the space. And when I get that trigger, it's like, oh, okay, let's face this head on and let's do what I need to do. So that way I'm able to, release it, send it back out to the universe, whatever like the case is. So I'm grateful for the triggers that I've received in this past week. And I want to say it's about 3 or 4 things that triggered me. And I was like, oh shit. Okay, we going there? Cool. Bet. So I want you guys to start switching and thinking, looking at your triggers now instead of running from them, just face them and just understand that triggers are beautiful. They're a great thing to come forward, so you can really say, oh, okay, why is this making me feel like this? Okay. So because X, Y, and Z, and then you can look at that whole scenario and see where else is showing up in your life. And you're like, okay, so I need to put some attention to this so that way I'm able to rid it and stuff. So I'm super grateful for those triggers. All right. So guess what? Now it's your turn. So as long as you're not driving, you just got to make sure I say that anyway. I want you guys to close your eyes. And if you're in a position where you can get, you're comfy or whatever, just get nice and comfy, close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath. So this is in through your nose, out through your mouth. Another one in through your nose and out through your mouth. Last one, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Great, great, great. So guys, you just centered yourself, right? And now from that heart center, what you could do, you can place your hands on your heart if you like. And now, what are you grateful for? And I would love for you to think of 3 things right now that you're grateful for. But if it's just one or you just have more, whatever, it's your thing. But just put that energy out there to the universe so you can welcome more to flow into your life. You can change your vibration. So what are you thankful for in this moment? Awesome, 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 awesome stuff, guys. Yes, yes, yes. We always want to express, what we're grateful for. Part of my morning or my daily, I'm not even going to just say morning, but my daily routine is I state what it is. I write these down. I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for, but I also write down my intentions for the day. So I firmly believe that we all can benefit from being intentional with everything that we do, right? All right. So today's episode, if this is your first time connecting and you were guided here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And then like my OGs and my loyal ones, welcome, welcome, welcome. But you would know that if you've been listening or maybe following me on social media, you know that I just had my 40th birthday. Woo-hoo. So at one point in my life, I wouldn't have even been telling people that I was 40. I couldn't even wrap my brains around the fact of turning 40. And if you haven't already, definitely go and check out the episode before this is where I shared 40 things that I've learned in my 40 years. And yeah, so, turning 40, I wouldn't even say that I was 40. I was 25 for like 5 solid years. Like, oh, I'm 25. I'm 25. Just having this being uncomfortable with the age and stuff. And now I like super love it. So, I didn't plan on doing anything for my birthday because I typically don't. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a brunch for my birthday. That's what I want to do. I want to do a brunch for my birthday. And my birthday was 2 days before my first retreat was to happen in Arizona. So I was like, so the Airbnb house that I have, I'll just get it, early and just do a brunch. And like my daughter, she's in LA, so she's close. So she was going to come in and then let people here. So it was just going to be, even if it was just the kids, it didn't matter. I was like, I'm going to have a brunch and I'm going to do this for my birthday. And then COVID hit and everything shifted and changed. I was like, okay, I guess I won't be, right? So one of my friends here, she was like, what are you doing for your birthday? And I was like, well, nothing now because I planned on doing this brunch, but we are social distancing and everything shut down. So she said, let's do a brunch at my house by the pool. I was like, okay, that's cool. We could do that. That'd be cool. That'd be fun. And so we did. And she invited like two of her friends. And I had met them, but I hadn't physically met them. But we've done some happy hour Zooms together. So I felt like I already know them. And we rocked out at her house at the pool. One of them actually got me a gift. And then they did this decoration and it was great. And then she ended up with her roommate was there. So I got to know her a little bit. That was cool. And then she had she had already asked. It was a male friend of hers who was coming in town. And she was like, hey, like, is it okay? Do you mind if he stops by? Because I know it's like a ladies thing or whatever. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, it's her house, like whatever, right? And he came. We had like the best conversation. And guys, so when I talk about this stuff on the podcast, whether I'm talking about healing, I'm talking about spirituality, I'm sharing my story or like experiences and stuff, I love this shit. I will talk about this all day long. So that's what comes up. We just start talking about the inner child and relationships and how things has happened like in your childhood and how it's affecting your adulthood. And then he had a lot of like questions. He was like, but he was very deep himself. So it was pretty cool, like to have that flow of the conversation. And he was asking things. He was like, so tell me about this, right? So him asking, and guys, I love people asking me questions. I love it, love it, love it, right? So I'm answering, and then he's relating it things that's going on with his life, and that's how he's been like asking, and stuff. So everything was purposeful. So for all of us to be there together, I mean, it was divine. It was just perfect. And even for him to happen, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes over here, to pop in, because he's coming from like Vegas or something, but coming to Arizona and to be there, it was perfect because he needed that guidance. He needed the things that I was saying and the way that the conversation, because spirit is like that. Spirit will just work through people like for you and stuff and place you into like, the right place at the right timing. And the conversation just flowed. And I was like, happy freaking birthday to me. This is dope. Like, I'm here. I would have never expected that I was going to be spending my birthday with people that I just met, that are just new in my life, and to be welcomed so much, with like all this love. And it was great to have great conversation. And then because things have started to open up here, we then went to this restaurant, and they still have their little social distancing, like, in there and all their precautions and stuff. So we then went there and got a little more food and like drinks and stuff. And it was just great. And it was such a good time. I was just like, wow. So also, I received so much love on like social media and my text messages, and of course, the people that I've known for a while and all that stuff, but so many new people that I've met virtually in this past year. And it's just been amazing. And then it dawned on me that I resisted this so much in my life. I would say things like, no new friends. I don't need no new friends. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. No new friends. I'm good with the people that I got. And I resisted it. I'm like, yo, women is catty. They childish. They like to play games. They like to cause drama. And I don't want anything to do with that. So I'm good with my friends. I'm good with my people. And I'm good by myself, and then have my people, when that time pops in or whatever. So I resisted it for a long time. But since I've been on the self-discovery journey, like my perspective and things have changed and opened up. And I understand that it's just those individual people who like to be filled with drama or be catty or something. But it was also a belief, something that was in my head from a very long time, is that, it's better, for you to be friends with guys, So I have like a hell of like guy friends and stuff, but not to have too many women because they're jealous. They like to keep up drama. They're not real. They're not like fake. So then you have one situation where something like that happens, and then it just validates that belief that's been put into your head. So then you think all women are like that, and you generalize it. And that's how I kind of went through my life, where it's like, I know a lot of people, and I can say, yo, a lot of people know me. I know a lot of people got a lot of associates, but my friends, nah, that's not how I get down. So now here we go, fast forward in this past, since I've been on this discovery for this 2 years, like things have started to shift, and I've stopped resisting the quote unquote, doing air quotes again, guys, the no new friends. and I've opened myself up and I've trusted that spirit, universe, God, whatever it is that you relate to, that higher power. But that higher power for me is going to guide and connect me with people that are for my highest good. And if I am connected to someone that is not, I don't want to say not for my highest good, but someone that may be a little drama filled or a little catty or a little untrustworthy or whatever the case is, it's still for my highest good because they're there to teach me something. They're there to teach me something about myself. So if I'm in a situation like that, am I going to speak up for myself? Right? Or am I going to just allow, someone to mistreat me or whatever like the case is? So instead of looking at it like, oh, hell no, got to be done, I can be done and will be done in that sense. But also, what did I learn from that? So everything changed. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that. What is that thing in your life that you are resisting the most? And you may be resisting it because of a belief. What is it that you believe? What is it that has been taught to you or that has just keep showing up in there, but you're like, no, 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 and you keep resisting. And how about you revisit that thing or those things in your life and say, why am I resisting this so much? And look to see where that story is. Like, where's that story in your head so you can trace it back and you can see, is it your story? Is the story even true? Right? So I opened myself up to understand that not everybody is the same. We're all on our own individual journey. So some people can be filled with so much, hate and jealousy, but really the bottom line is they're really dying and hurting inside, right? And they just haven't had that shift yet to open them up. So they don't know how to express themselves in a healthy way. So they express themselves being, negative or being shitty or being shady McGrady, whatever it is that you want to call it. So now I understand, so if I see that in someone or a person, I'm like, wow, I wonder who hurt them. I wonder what hurt them. Or, wow, I wonder what their story is, versus like, oh my God, like what the heck? Because then I end up projecting and judging. So since I've opened myself up and I stopped resisting the no new friends, I've met some freaking amazing, dope ass women. Women. And a lot of you guys are listeners. So shout out to you. And I know that because you give me feedback or we've connected on social media or you were actually clients. And I hate calling people clients. I don't even know what to call you guys because you're so much more than a client. So, but just for context purposes, I say clients. But I've met some amazing women. So now the idea of women in my mind is not that they're jealous, they're catty, they're insecure, they're filled with, so much, jealousy and drama and all of that. I'm like, yo, y'all are fucking amazing and supportive. And shout out to my ladies in Tampa or in Florida, because there's like a whole handful of you guys that rock together and support each other like some shit that I'm gonna keep it 100, that I've never seen. Like, you guys big each other up and just support each other in like the dopest fucking way. And that shit is just so crazy and amazing. So kudos to you. And Florida's not the only ones. I'm just pointing that out because I see that's a big theme in that. And I'm not even going to say in that circle, but like in that tribe is just so dope. Yeah, so I just think that is just so amazing when you stop resisting something and you really step back and you open yourself up. You're like, wow, look at all these different opportunities and these blessings. And just to be able to know so many people that just have beautiful souls and that's encouraging and empowering and inspiring and just rocking with each other. It's just like, oh, well, shit, I've been missing out on this, right? But I do believe everything is in perfect divine timing, so I may have had that belief in my head for so long. And now I'm like, I have a whole different story and it's beautiful. So shout out to each and every one of you guys. Y'all are all just amazing. I do want you to just take a little bit of time and really look into your life and see what is it that you're resisting? Are you resisting the same thing where you're like, oh yeah, no new friends. I don't need any new friends. Or I don't want to work with women. I don't want to work with women because X, Y, and Z. Or I don't want to work with men because blah, 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 blah. Or I'm resisting resting, getting sleep because I got to go harder than the next person. And I got to get just this and this and this. So you stay up all night and then you get up early and you just get it. But maybe you're resisting the relaxation. Maybe you're resisting the sleep. And it may seem like, oh, that's not a big deal, but it's simple, but yet it's powerful, right? Or maybe someone's approaching you about your business, or you keep hearing, a particular thing and it's popping up and you're like, no, but I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. And it's like, maybe you're resisting it. Maybe there's something to that. Maybe you should just say, you know what, I'm going to take my guard down a little bit. I'm going to research and look into this a little bit. Maybe this is the answer to the prayer that I've been asking or seeking, right? So what are you resisting? What's going on in your life that you are resisting, and especially when it's tied to a belief and a story? Let's get to the root of it. Let's change that story, and let's stop resisting. Let's stop pushing against the water. Put your hands up and literally just allow yourself to float, and you'll be amazed at the different things that start to come to you and that starts to present itself to you because you stop resisting, right? So I say it all the time. The thing that you're resisting the most, that's what you need to do. You need to just do that shit, right? And I don't even want to say what's the worst that can happen, because I don't even like to even go there. Just say like, okay, we came here to evolve and grow, right? Because Earth, I believe, is a school for us and a playground. Some people, it depends on your individual soul and what you came here for. But the bottom line, my belief is all of us, no matter what that journey is for us to evolve and grow, right? So why are we resisting so much instead of just exploring? Let's explore different opportunities, different avenues, do something different, right? Like I'm switching my hair up, right? So for me, it's like I've had my hair like with the curliest and stuff for such a long time. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to rock it straight, because that's me switching up things in my life and doing something different, right? Just doing something different. And I know for like a lot of women that I've met and heard from, like there's so much key and so much magic in our hair, and we'll just go and do something completely drastic. And what that does to our subconscious mind and putting out to the universe, it just lets that vibration, that energy out there that we are open to change and we are open to something different, right? So we switch up our hair, right? And when we switch up our hair, it's just like, oh, that looks good on you. Like, oh my gosh, you could rock that. That's nice. Or whatever you can get from other people. But for you, you're like, yo, I did that shit. Like, I just went all blonde, or I just chopped it all off, right? But we change our vibration and we put that out there to the universe that we are open to change and we are open to exploring and to experiencing something different. And that's how we evolve and that's how we grow, by changing, right? By doing like, different things and stuff. So when I got out of the military, for those of you that don't know, I was in the Army. And when I got out, I was in a signal unit and they all got deployed to Iraq, right? And I was getting out. So of course there was that guilty part of me feeling guilty that all my peoples that I was close with and stuff were getting deployed to Iraq. I think it was Operation Desert Storm. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So yeah, so I remember when I got out and stuff, which when I look back at, I knew it kind of then, but now I see it for a bigger thing. When you're in the military and you're getting out, you have to go through all these different stations and they have to sign off on it before you can officially be out. So there's a lot of different stations. There's even a station where you can't owe any bills. And I lived in Hinesville, Georgia, and so it was a military town. So that's where I was stationed there. And you couldn't even owe bills. So you had to go through each station and you had to sign off. People had to sign off on it to get you cleared. And I remember getting to the very last one and I got that signature and I walked outside and I took my hat off, even though I was still in my BDUs, which was my uniform, right? But you couldn't do that because if you didn't have your hat on or you had your shirt unbuttoned or whatever, you were out of uniform and you get quote unquote in trouble. So now I'm not government property anymore. So I walk out and I take my hat off and I'm like, yes, right? So I go into another building to get something else. I was already signed and all, but I went to go, I don't even remember what it was, but I remember the sergeant there saying, oh, wow, you're so lucky that you just got that signature, because if you hadn't gotten that signature, you would have had to stay in there because they just put a stop loss in. So the stop loss is where they stop anybody from getting out, from going to another, unit or anything. And this is because of the whole war that we were in. So they was like, oh, no, stop, done. Ain't nobody going nowhere. We about to get this shit popping, basically, right? So I always remember tears started coming down my eyes. And I was like, yo, I'm mad lucky. Holy shit, I would have been stuck in this, right? So then you just like fast forward and I'm like, okay, I was definitely meant to not continue my career into the military, but it was definitely a great experience. I love it for the people and I hate it for the people, right? So I'm sharing that with you. Let me tie it back into the whole resisting thing. So I'm out of the army. I'm out of the military now and back in Virginia, and I'm staying with my cousin and his wife. And I'm laying on their couch every day watching CNN, watching the stories about Iraq, watching things being blown up. And every day I'm like, yo, are they okay? Or how are my people? I'm calling every single day. I'm laying on the couch. I'm calling back to Georgia and I'm calling the unit to say, like, do you know when they're coming back? Do you know when they're coming back? Leaving messages, just praying and just every day obsessing over this thing and hoping that everybody that I knew and that I was close with, will come back safe. And I remember one day, honestly, when I look at it, I was depressed, right? So I was depressed. And then I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am in the car recording this and I am hot as shit. I'm feeling like I can't breathe. Yo. All right, sorry. But anyway, so I'm depressed and I wouldn't have said it then. But when I look back at it, I was hella depressed and on that couch doing the same thing every single day, watching CNN over and over and over and over and crying and all of this shit and wouldn't get up off of there. And I was resisting life, to be honest. And then one day I got up. I don't know what made me do it, but I got up off of the couch and I went into the bathroom and I grabbed the scissors and I just started cutting off my hair. Just cutting off all my hair. And my hair was so long and it was so pretty and I just started chopping it off. Just with fucking scissors, guys. Just cutting it off. Because guess what? I could control that. I couldn't control when they would come back. Or are they going to come back safe? Are they going to come back alive? Is somebody going to answer the phone at this unit? But what I could control was what I was doing to my hair. And I cut all that shit off. And that shit was looking crazy. And then my now ex-husband, it's like, what the hell? And he could cut hair. So he fixed it for me. He got it straight. And then I ended up dyeing it blonde. So if you remember back then, it was in 2000, it was like you put the texturizer in your hair and it was just like curly. And it was really, it was probably maybe 2 inches long. Yeah, maybe about 2 inches long. I don't really know if like that, maybe about 2-3 inches long. And I put a texturizer in it. So he cut it all up so it was shaped good. And I dyed it blonde, this honey blonde. And I put I had the texturizer in there and that shit looked good. And I was like, hell yeah. And I just remember being so happy. And it was like, I started feeling better. I started feeling better. I started actually going outside. I actually started back doing things in my life. And then I called over to the unit and they were like, yes, they're going to be coming back on such and such date. And I'm like, holy shit, yes, 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 yes. So they're back and now I'm talking to like my old sergeant there and I'm like, I'm coming to visit. And, I went to visit and I ended up connecting with people. And there was one person in Parker, we called him Alabama. He did die over there. So, rest in peace to his soul. He was cool as shit. And we used to just call him Alabama because where he's from, but his accent was so like strong. So we just be like, Bama, like Alabama. But just like a great soul, a cool dude. And again, rest in peace to his soul. But I realized how much it was like in like your hair. So for me, it was like that was something that I was able to control. So I made that drastic change in cutting my hair and it shifted everything within me. It shifted everything within me and I actually started getting back into life because I was resisting life. That's what I was resisting. I was resisting life itself. I was resisting moving forward. I was resisting doing anything because I wanted to stay in that spot because I felt like if I moved from that spot, that meant that I didn't care about, my unit, my team, my friends. I didn't care about them anymore. And they were over there fighting for this country, which I still don't even fucking know what. That's a whole other podcast topic about the military. But I felt like if I got up off of this couch, if I moved forward in my life and I started to just do things, for myself, that meant that I didn't care about them. And that wasn't true, right? But this was a story that was attached to myself. So I was resisting life. I was resisting doing anything. And then there was something in me that just shifted. And I was really thought I was just like, fuck this shit. I'm just cutting my hair. And that's actually what liberated me. That's actually what freed me. That's what actually allowed me to stop resisting life. And it was just amazing. So when I think about those things now, and because I've been on this self-discovery journey, I'm like, wow, that happened to me then. When I changed my hair up, And what I did was, because I was so drastic with that change, I changed my vibration. I changed my thoughts. I put out to the universe that I'm okay with change. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with moving forward and doing something different. And then the universe started matching that energy, because now that vibration, that frequency I'm on is no more obsessing and watching with bombs being blown and the stories and the reporters and all this shit over and over and over and over, that I was like, no, I need to be able to move forward. But that story of saying that if I move forward in my life, that meant that I didn't care about them, I was forgetting about them, was a story that I made up. So what story are you making up in your life right now? Where is it that what is it that you're resisting? Where is it that you could make a change? Am I saying for you to go and change your hair and do something drastic? Nah, but if you want to, do that shit. Because it's more than just having a nice hairstyle or cutting, or if you're going bald, or if you're a woman, you want to start growing dreads, like, or whatever. That's cool. That's dope. That's amazing for you, for like your appearance and what you want to do. But it's so much more, because again, you're putting that out to the universe that you're okay with change and you're okay with moving forward and doing something different. So again, it doesn't mean you have to go do something to your hair, but what is it that you can do now? So especially when it comes to this control, I always tell people all the time, control is such an illusion, but there are some things that we can control. Like, I can control what I do to my hair. It's my fucking hair. If I want to cut that shit off, I can cut it off, right? So what is it in your life that you know that you have control over? Can you go and look, if you have a business, can you go look at your website and say, you know what, I want to change this shit up. I'm doing a complete remodel of my website, because actually when I created this website, I was in this frequency, I was in this vibration, I was in this place of my life. And now that I have seen and I want so much more, I'm ready to change it. Maybe you want your colors to be brighter. Maybe your colors, are brighter. Or maybe the way you show up in social media, right? And social media is a thing, right? So maybe the way that you show up in social media is you've been hiding yourself. You've been hiding your true thoughts, right? You've been wanting to, post something that you absolutely love. You love flowers, you love plants, and you just want to share it with everyone, but you're afraid to post it on there because people are going to be like, why is she posting about that? Or maybe you're an amazing cook, right? And I run around saying like you a chef, but you love to cook. You enjoy that shit, and you just made a dope ass meal and you want to share it, but you don't want to be one of those people that other people talk about, like, we don't care. Why are you just posting like your foods, or why does your plates look like this, or whatever the case is. I remember especially on Thanksgiving, I would see people posting their Thanksgiving meals on Thanksgiving, they're posting their stuff, and people would comment, or they would post their own, and they would say stuff like, something like, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves posting this food in paper plates. What the fuck? Like, you see this shit is just crazy. So then people hide what it is because they're afraid of what other people might say. Like, why the hell are you talking about someone using paper plates? They fucking smart. They don't want to wash dishes afterwards when you got a house full of goddamn people over and they don't want to use it. Regardless of that, it doesn't matter. You can post that shit on a damn napkin or whatever. If you're proud of what you made and or the fact that you were even together with the family and you have food, then you post that shit. You do whatever the hell you want to do, right? So maybe the way that you're showing up in the world is you're hiding yourself. So maybe that's something you can change. Post what you want. Say what you want, and that's something that you can control. So what is it that you're resisting, right? Or maybe it's like you've always wanted to take up photography. You wanted to learn how to like really capture like this beautiful pictures and stuff, but you're like, but I got this business to run and I'm not going to be able to make any money from that because I'm not really a photographer, but it's something that you love or you like, or not even that you might not even love it like you ain't do it, but you've been curious about it, but you're like, oh, I don't have any time to do that because that's going to take me off of the course of what it is that I'm trying to do. No, that thing may just very well be the thing that's going to put you on the best course of your life, where you take time to go explore photography or that new skill or whatever it is. You just put a little bit of attention, a little bit of energy to it, but it's something about you doing that and being in that creative space that then sparks something for the other thing that you say you do for money or whatever, like the case is. You guys understand what I'm saying. So again, what is it that you're resisting in your life? Where is this story, the story that you made up? Is it your story? Is it somebody else's story? Is that shit even fucking true? Explore it and stop resisting and make this change. Whatever that change may be, for you. it's something that's been on your heart, it's something that's been on your mind, and it's there for a reason, and you just do it. You just make it happen. So for me, I'm super grateful and thankful that I decided to drop that belief in that story that, all women are dot, 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 because I've opened myself up to some fucking amazing ass women. And I'm so excited about many more people that I'm going to connect with that's going to be guided to me. I'm going to be guided to them, and to just see it. And even like on like social, media, seeing them post and share about each other and talk about each other is just amazing. But I stopped resisting the thing to keep this circle so tight, right? So now that doesn't mean I'm running around saying everybody's my friend and all this stuff. I'm trusting more of the energy. I still protect my energy. I still can keep that bubble away, but that bubble is for protection. That bubble is not to keep me away from the whole world, because I may keep somebody out that I'm sitting here praying to God, praying to the universe for X, Y, and Z, and like, yo, why are you not helping me? But it's because I put up this bubble and I'm keeping everybody out. It's like, how can I help you? Like, how can I send you this guidance if you're just completely shutting out and you don't want to do anything? You just want to keep things exactly the way it is and it stays the same, the same, the same, the same, the same. It's like, okay, how do you expect any type of change, right? So now I know my tribe doesn't have to be 2 or 3 people. I could have a whole freaking squad. And because everybody plays a different role and stuff like in our lives, right? But I'm open to receiving my highest good, however it is that it comes, right? So I just wanted to hop on here, for this episode to really just share my experience with my 40th birthday and how and what it actually, it taught me. And it was cool because last week I did the 40 things I've learned in my 40 years, but here's another thing that I've learned, right? And I learned it by just experiencing that. I would have never thought that my birthday would have been spent with people that I just met and received so much love on, like I said, direct messages to me and social media from people that I never even met in person, right? I didn't even think that you could even have that strong relationship with, I did. One of my good friends, Amy, we actually met through a online business thing a few years back, not even a few years back, a lot of years back. And we have since met each other and stuff, but we talk every single day for a good, I think maybe a year or so before we actually ever met each other. So that was my first start into developing a good friendship and relationship with someone that I never met physically, but it wasn't anything else after that until now, this past year. It's like, holy shit, this is actually dope, because this allows you to get to really know people and have that soul to soul connection. But again, it goes back to me not resisting anymore, me changing that story that's been in my head for so long. So I'm going to say this again. What are you resisting? What stories are you attached to? Are they your stories? Are they someone else's stories? Are you ready to change the story? And what are you ready to change in your life? Personal, business, kids, whatever. Do that shit. Make that shit happen. So that's what I have for you guys. I'm still rocking out in this car. I did roll the window down. I'm still hot as shit. But I feel good. I feel good. Life is amazing. Life is beautiful. Even in the midst of your storm or your chaos or whatever you're calling it, life is still amazing. Life is amazing. You could look to the left, you could look to the right, and you could just say, you know what? I don't want to be in this anymore. And you change. You change it, because your current circumstance does not define who the hell you are. You can co-create alongside the universe. And I had somebody say, I hear you say that all the time. What does that mean? What I mean by that is that when we put energy into something, the universe then matches that energy with us and works with us, because these ideas that you have or these things you want, they're already there. They're already in your energetic field. You just need to bring it to fruition in this 3-dimensional form. And this is where our beliefs come in, right? So when you're putting your energy into something, the universe is then going to match that energy, whether it's bringing somebody in alignment with you, or like you say you want to write a book, like, yo, I really been thinking write a book. What am I write a book about? Then you kind of get the idea, like, you know what, I'm going to write a book because I want to share about my struggles. I want to share about my story. And I want to be able to empower other people to show them that just because you're at rock bottom doesn't mean that you have to stay there. You can always get up and you can always ... right? I have no fucking idea how to even write a goddamn book. Then all of a sudden you are on, and I'm going to say social media again. You're on social media and you see someone posting about, I just wrote my book. It was this process. It was great. ... You know, I've helped so many people, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh shit, I follow you? I didn't even know you wrote a book and you help people do it. Wow. That's the universe then putting somebody in your path that you've seen before post, but you never seen that they wrote books, right? Because you're not even really thinking about it. You're not putting your energy into writing this book. You're just like, yo, I want to write a book. It's coming up, but nah, I'm not going to do that. Who wants to hear me? Or who would want to read it? I don't know what to do. It's going to be super hard. So you don't put no energy to it. So you didn't even see that you were all along. You already connected. You got a direct connect to someone who's wrote books and helped other people. But once you put your energy into it, the universe then is like, okay, so now your vibration changed. And now you're on this vibration of like, I'm going to write a book. I'm doing this. I'm not afraid. Even if I am afraid, I'm going to do it anyway. And then all of a sudden, this person pops up talking about this book and how they help people. And you're like, what? Okay. This is odd. You're like, what's the chances of that? That's a big coincidence. Nah, there's no such thing as coincidence. That's divine timing. And that's the universe saying, yo, I got your back. I was just waiting for you to make that change. I was just waiting for you to make that move. And now I'm going to match your energy. And now guess what? You about to rock it out with the universe. So that's co-creating with the universe. Okay. So for real, I mean, I'm going to get off of here now because I'm thirsty. Anyway, I love you guys. Seriously, that's not even no bullshit. Like, time is something that we cannot get back. Time is something that we all stress over. Time is something that is a big fucking illusion. But you spent your time listening to what I have to say. You trusted yourself to be guided to this podcast, to this episode. You're trusting in that, you know, I'm going to say something that's going to help guide you along. And for that, like, I truly say thank you. And I truly am like, yo, I love you guys. Like, that means so much to me. So I appreciate that. And if anything that I said on here or have even said before is really like rocking with you, is resonating with you, and you're like, but you know what? I need to dive a little deeper for me personally and stuff. Yo, I got you. You can go to my website, healalignedglow.com, or follow me on Instagram at Mindset Slayer. And you can click the link in my bio there. Go to my website. You can peek around a little bit more. I've got some videos on there. I got some, little testimonials. You can get and then if you click on sessions, you can see the different sessions that I offer. And if it's resonating with you and you're ready for, that change, but you just need a little you need someone to remind you who the fuck you are. You need someone to give you a little bit, give you that clarity. You need someone to help you recognize the patterns. Or you know what? Most of the time, you already know, because guess what? Everything is within you. All the power is in you. Sometimes we just need that little bit of guidance. And guess what? Again, I got you back. So, book a session. I love to work with you. Also, again, reminder, Embrace, Nurture, and Heal Your Inner Child starts on May 24th. So by the time that you listen to this, it'll be starting in a couple of days. So yeah, that's it. That's what I got for you guys. Thank you so much again. Until next time, have an amazing day on purpose. Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in to #Certified. If anything resonated with you, I would love to continue the conversation. You can follow me on Instagram at @ItIsTisha. And if you want to be a part of the #Certified tribe, you can join my Facebook group by going to the search tab and putting in #Certified. My website is conversationswithtisha.com. As always, have a great one on purpose. Love you.